Hey everybody, it's Megan from the Sandals Insider, and today we're going to jump back into weddings and talk about probably the most popular wedding package, which is the Bliss Wedding Package. So this package is going to be for couples who have anywhere between 6 rooms to 25 rooms, and those are again double occupancy because you're at Sandals, so it's up to 50 guests. A lot of people fall within this category. It's a very popular group size. And so this is the package that I tend to see people book and utilize the most. So we've already talked about the group codes and group contracts. We've talked about the initial fees that you can expect. So now we're at the point in the planning where let's just say you have put together your guest list and you know that this is the package that you are going to fall into. So let's talk about what this package includes. So first, cost, of course. So cost is going to be different, even within the Bliss package. There's a few different levels that are broken down, and that's going to be based on how many rooms are going to be booked within your group code or contract. That it's a little confusing, but the cost goes up based on how many rooms you book because of the inclusions. You're paying for the extra setup and dinner and cocktail hour and things like that. So if you are holding between 6 and 10 rooms, you fall within that first category, and that's going to be a $2,500 flat rate for the Bliss package. Or if you are between then 11 and 20 rooms that end up booking, you are going to be paying $3,400 as your flat rate. And then the last tier within the Bliss package is if you are between 21 rooms and 25 rooms, then you are going to be paying $3,850 as the flat rate. And remember, if you are above 25 rooms, you are going to be in the next package up, which is the Epic package. That's also when you're going to need to do a group contract as opposed to the group code. And you can always go back and watch that video as well. So first you're going to figure out which tier you fall into, and then we're going to talk about what's included within all of these three pricing tiers in this Bliss package. So of course you get your sandals team, and we talked about how you're going to talk to different people along the way. You're going to talk to people in the call center, you're going to talk to the wedding concierge, and you're going to have your team when you get to the resort. These things are all included. You're also paying for the setup and the takedown of your event. And included in this package, you are going to get your bridal bouquet. You're going to get your groom's boutonniere. And then with this package, you actually get one more of each. So you have an extra bouquet to give to your one of your attendants on both sides. You can always pay for an additional if or more, as many as you want if you have more people in your bridal party. But included as this is with this one is one for the bride and one for an attendant on each side. Then next, you also get the white Chiavari chairs included with the ceremony, as well as some pre-recorded ceremony music. You also get so with your ceremony, you have more people there. So another thing that they're going to include is a speaker and a microphone for your ceremony. So that's fantastic because sometimes on the islands, especially if you're getting married out on the beach, it's a little bit windy. This is going to make it easier for people to hear you saying your vows, and they love that, trust me. So you also get then after your ceremony, you get 1 hour cocktail hour, 2 hour dinner, as well as a tiered cake, which is going to be enough cake for however many people are included. So the size of your cake depends on how many guest rooms that you have booked in this package. You also get a private bar with dinner. So we know it's an all-inclusive resort. So you think, of course, drinks are included, but this way you have a bar set up near where you and your guests are having dinner. And that way guests can just go to that bar. It makes it super easy. Nobody else from the resort is going to be able to come over and be able to be served from your event. So it just makes everything a little bit more private and exclusive. You also get $100 resort credit that you can use for something like a candlelight dinner. Usually when people are getting married, they need a photographer. So the photography is included in this package and you receive up to 20 images. They will certainly take more than that. So if you want more, you can pay for more in advance. That way they know to shoot more, or you can always look at them afterwards. I believe it is a little bit more expensive if you pay for them afterwards as opposed to pre-selecting a package with a certain number of images. But even if you select the minimum that's already included, you know that you're going to get 20 professional images. So let's talk about the food that's included. You can go online and you can view all of the menus, or if you want me to send them to you, please just reach out. They're constantly being updated, but you, with this package, have a 1 hour welcome cocktail reception, which is so fun. You can do this the day before your wedding, or any day of your choosing, but before your wedding, so that when people arrive, they can come to your welcome reception and there will be a bar set up there. You can do a signature cocktail if you want to. They also have a menu that is full of buffet food options. It's heavy hors d'oeuvres. Again, any of this stuff you can always pay additional, but I'm trying to touch on the things that are included. So there's lots of options, and you just go through and you look at your choices, and they tell you how many you select. And that way, your guests, when they go, again, they have this private space available that you have for your cocktail party. And then, of course, on your wedding day, a 2 hour dinner service is included. So it's 2 hours because there's music and there's usually things like toasts. If you've been to a wedding, you know that things take a little bit longer usually, just with the amount of time it takes for dinner service. But this works just like it does in the States. So you pre-select the menu. There's lots of different options, and it's going to include an appetizer. It's going to include an entree. There's your cake that's going to be served, and it's all plated. So you can choose a couple different options, and then that way your guests can make the selections in advance, just like up here. So we would touch base with all of your guests, just say which option would you be confirming for dinner. If anybody has any allergies, dietary restrictions, the chefs at Sandals are super good about paying attention to that and creating a menu or modifying your menu so that they can enjoy the same things as everybody else. Or if they can't, if they have to do a completely different dish, they can do that as well. So you get everybody's choices in advance so that it's a really seamless dining experience. What I love about the weddings is, of course, you're planning it from far away. We make all of these choices in advance. And when I'm always happy to be on those calls, I love those calls. It's so fun to talk about the design elements of the day. Just know that there are things that are going to add to this base cost. So that is going to be things like if you want certain centerpieces on the tables, or if you want upgraded linens on the tables. If you, after dinner, want there to be a private DJ dancing set for your guests to enjoy, the DJ fee and the additional fee to keep the bar open. Sometimes we need some string lights or something, depending on where you are, especially if you're down by the beach. There's not necessarily going to be lighting. So I love to be on these calls because when I'm on the call with my clients, I always talk to them about, okay, you should think about adding something like this, but I never suggest anything that is unnecessary. I try to talk to people and help them prioritize so that you're getting the most bang for your buck. There's obviously lots of fun ways that you can splurge on your weddings, but that's 100% up to you. So I'm just talking to my clients and saying, okay, yeah, we definitely need to put some string lights on the beach or tiki torches or whatever that may be if you want people to stay down there and enjoy the dancing. Or maybe if you're doing it up on the lawn somewhere, they already have lights. So just trying to remind people about certain things and thinking about that. There's lots of different add-ons that you can do to these packages we talked about. If you want more photos, if you want a videographer, I mean, there's so many things, anything you can imagine, different types of live music, depending on the island, different types of performers that you can bring down. Some of those things are so fun for your guests to enjoy, not things you typically see up here. And while I am talking about additional costs to consider on top of these flat fees. I will say, just from being a wedding planner up here for many, many years, I can tell you that planning a wedding at Sandals is going to be significantly less expensive than planning it up here in the States. So if this is your vibe, if you are looking for that Caribbean feel and you want this to be easy and fun and lots of options, definitely Sandals is something, or beaches if you have kids coming too, is something to look into because that is a resort that knows how to do these things very well. They've got it down. So if you feel like you might need some additional help with your wedding, have additional questions, please leave a comment. You're always free to contact me, email me. I am happy to help plan any wedding at all at Sandals or Beaches. I can work exclusively with you on the rooms. I can work with you on the design, the wedding planning, whatever you need. And as I always remind people, my services are always free because Sandals already builds that in to all of their resort costs and fees as well. So using a travel agent is only going to make your life easier. All of your wedding guests are going to thank you because they will be able to make your wedding guests' lives easier. And it helps to have a point of contact, of course, for you to have one person who can answer questions and be available to you as needed. So again, this was all about the Bliss Wedding Package, what's included, things to think about for additional fees. Again, please reach out with any questions, and I'm happy to answer them. Bye, everybody.